There are many good institutes out there which struggle with managing their expenses and their income, where there's always a gap between the revenue they're generating and the expenses. There's always a deficit. We want our schools to be powered with the most resources available so that the teachers, the staff, those affiliated with the institute, their needs can be met. They can be honored, sponsored, and provided for with everything they need to make sure their lives are comfortable because they're providing the best service. They are educating our children. Likewise, we want our children to be the future leaders of tomorrow. We want them to be upright, have the best education, people who are beneficial. We want our children to be the guiding stars for Muslims and non-Muslims and humanity at large, showing them the best way possible. Not only that, we want our scholars tomorrow to be leaders, researchers. We want them to be policy writers, to be part of think tanks. We want them to be involved in finance and economics, in medical research, in food standards, and every other industry out there. And that's why we really need to support our Islamic schools as much as possible. It's not just about making profit, but really it's about empowering them with the resources they need so that they are self-sustainable and that they can invest those resources back in sponsoring, supporting, and helping the staff, the children, and the future leaders of tomorrow. In this video, I want to share 10 practical ways Islamic schools and madrasas can maximize their income, reduce their expenses, and improve their sustainability. The first strategy is to reduce your expenses. This does not mean to decrease your staff wages or not pay the staff what they are due. No, we should be honoring the staff with the best of wages, making this qualification, this role honored, and make it desirable. If the needs of our staff are met, they'll give themselves wholeheartedly. We want to look after their personal needs so that they can devote themselves to what they are doing. These are the best of people. Teaching Quran is the best thing a person can do, and therefore the staff need to be honored. Likewise, everybody affiliated to the madrasa, they need to be honored, valued. For instance, energy efficiency. Are we using the most efficient utility providers and energy providers? We need to shop around and see that we're getting the best deal. Likewise, bulk purchasing and supplier negotiation. Many a time when you buy in bulk, you save tens of pounds or even hundreds of pounds depending on the supply. Another way is to reduce waste. There's many a time there's so much waste happening, and when we add the value of the waste, it goes into the hundreds of pounds. Every pound makes a difference here. Another way to reduce your expense is embrace digital tools, where you can utilize digital formats, digital tools, digital resources. Use that over paper and tangible resources. Another way is preventative maintenance. Make sure you maintain your equipment regularly so that you avoid those costly breakdowns when they occur and emergency repairs. Another way is to optimize staffing, which includes considering the cross-training of multiple employees so that there's fewer specialized hires that are needed and that one employee can pivot and move around to fulfill dynamic needs as they come along. Another way to potentially reduce your expense is whenever there's an option to lease or buy, lease equipment that rapidly depreciates. That will save you from spending huge amounts of money up front and impacting your working capital. And finally, another way to deal with reducing your expenses is try to outsource non-core tasks. If you don't need a full-time IT specialist in-house, outsource that to a third party, to a service provider. That will be typically the fraction of the cost of having a full-time hire, and it will save you hundreds of pounds every single month. The second way to increase your income is by using your space efficiently. Try to fill in all the space you have and maximize your services within the space that you have. There should be no room free or empty. And that is impacting your working capital, that is impacting your cash flows. Maximize. It's not just about earning more money. We're not seeing this as a money-making, profit-generating activity. We're more concerned with sustainability and impact. We want our services to be impactful. We want a sadaqah jariyah. But practicality is we don't want waste either. We want to maximize on the space. So if you have 10 rooms and we're only using 5, we're losing out on 10. There's a real cost there. Therefore, to maximize on this, we need to reuse every single room to its capacity and ensure we're providing genuine services across all the spaces. The third way to increase income is to maximize your output with your premises. Diversify into different markets. How can you educate different people? How can you impact the lives of different people? Have courses and classes which are out of hours for different things. A weekend club for one activity or another activity. Every hour should be occupied. There should be no hour in the week, except the late night hours, which are being not used. So the goal is your weekends, the institute, the premises should be used. Let it be used for good, and that will also generate an income. This is not about pocketing and profiting again. Rather, it's helping the institute itself be sustainable and to have the best resources available for the staff and the teachers to be the future leaders of tomorrow. The fourth way is to consider passive income opportunities. This is where many madrasas unfortunately lose out. There's multiple ways you can earn passive income. For instance, you have a digital marketing board on your wall. You're a madrasa on a busy road or there's many cars. If you have a digital marketing board and good Islamic organizations, charities, shops, businesses advertise on your board, it will be passive income for you. Or you have additional property, you have spaces, lease that out to other people they may want to teach. Maybe there's a scholar who wants to have his own class in the evenings. Lease your space to him to use. And likewise, you may have a football pitch or a ground where people can come and have recreational activity. You can lease your space for people to come and use that football pitch to earn a halal income and support your institution. The fifth way to increase your income is invest. Unfortunately, many Islamic schools and madrasas do not think about investing. This is perhaps one of the biggest downfalls. We must have an investment mindset. A madrasa can simply buy rental property instead of raising sadaqah and donations over and over again. If you just raise 100, 200, 300,000 pounds, invest in rental property. That will give you 8, 9, 10% per annum, and that will be recurring income. If the madrasas had bought Bitcoin 10 years ago when it was worth $300, today one Bitcoin is worth $100,000. So if they had bought 10 Bitcoin in 2015, today those Bitcoins would be worth $1 million. And if they had bought 100 Bitcoin 10 years ago, today they would have $10 million. Imagine having 7-8 million pounds, what you could do with that. So we have to be thinking about investing. There should be a staff or two who are concerned with investments, or how do you invest the excess income that you have or any surplus in different activities. Alternatively, you can have a portfolio of shares and Islamic ETFs, Sharia compliant ETFs. This will also give you a steady return and a steady growth over a number of years. There are multiple asset classes you can invest in and create a steady return for the madrasa and for the institute. Number 6 is the obvious one. If we talked about investments in 5, number 6 is all about creating a waqf. Again, this is sadly something which is missing by and large by many institutions. Waqf is the way forward. We can't have a model purely based on sadaqah. Sadaqah is not sustainable in the long term. Asking for donations over and over again, whilst it's wonderful and parents give, people give, they want to give, they want to be involved, but for the growth of the institution to become self-sustainable, waqf is the way forward. Why? Let me give you an example. Just say you raise £50,000 a year in waqf and it's giving you a 10% return per annum, which is very possible. After 10 years, you'll have £500,000 in total capital and you'll be generating annual income of £50,000. So if you keep raising waqf and you invest that money into waqf projects and then you are generating a return of 10%, after 10 years, you are making £50,000. Now, if you don't raise any more money, you'll be making £50,000 every single year. Imagine the impact that you can have with that. But if you continued raising £50,000 every year, after 20 years, you'll have £1 million and you'll be generating an annual income of £100,000. And after 40 years, you'll have £2 million, generating £200,000 as annual income. And after 50 years, we'll have £2.5 million in capital. That's untouched, unused. It's still there, but you'll be generating an annual return, an annual income of £250,000. Just imagine the benefit, the growth, the impact that you can have. We must be thinking about sustainability over the long term and not the short term. The 7th way to increase your income and be sustainable is think about corporate sponsorships and corporate grants. There are multiple partners, charities, Islamic financing houses, companies who would be happy to support your cause, who would want to be involved and help you in different ways, provide some grants, provide resources, skills to support you and your institution. And there are multiple corporate firms out there and companies looking to boost their corporate social responsibility, their CSR, and they want to support good causes. Every Islamic school should have a staff member or a person that they can liaise with with to unlock this capital and to tap into these pools of cash sitting there. We need to engage with different communities, and we need to engage with the corporate partners out there and see how they can add value to us. We just need to make those relationships and engage and learn from them and also benefit from them. The eighth way to increase your income is by resource sharing and collaboration. We have 10 madrasas in one city. What if they all collaborated, shared their resources and other things? That will help in reducing the cost of all the madrasas. When you work together as a team and when all these different madrasas work together, it'll benefit everybody, reduce the costs and maximize the output. The ninth way to increase your income is by having a publication house, having merchandise and having sales of other things here and there, being a place where you can sell things which are secondhand or goods which are no longer needed, or even having a small business on site. That will help and boost your resources, your income and diversification of your opportunities. The final way to maximize your income is to leverage the digital space as much as possible. See what you can do online, digital media, digital content, digital sponsorships. There are multiple strategies you can be involved in and you can explore online to increase your income. And that is really a way to reach the world. The ability to scale is far greater online than with a building. So if you tap into the online world, you'll be able to launch an online madrasa, teach Quran online, teach different courses online. Again, this is not for profit generation, but it's there to make your reach as far as possible, to have an impact and make your institute sustainable. The money is being invested in the madrasa and supporting the purpose of the madrasa, the education, the students. We need the best students for tomorrow's challenges. So what next? Every madrasa should have a strategy where they create a diversified portfolio of income generating products and services and be very clear that this is what we need to do in every single front to maximize the benefit to our students, to our children, and to support our staff, our teachers, our ulama and scholars. And tomorrow we have the best leaders when they have the best resources while studying. As always, if there's any madrasa or institute that would require any assistance from myself or anybody that I can help with, I'm more than happy to be of service to you.